got a search warrant, which means they clearly were able to show a judge that there was probable cause to believe a crime was committed. But the police have been playing this really close to the vest.
We also don't know what David's cooperation has been with cops. We were told early on he was cooperating with cops. Now it seems kind of unclear, but it is kind of interesting because...
Well, he's not talking to cops.
That's what...
Katt Williams detonated the rumor mill with a bare-knuckle blow on Club Shay Shay, staring down the camera and insisting David, the TikTok star turned alt-pop phenom, is not just the tragic headline of the week. He's a pawn in a blueprint older than TMZ. The comedian's claim, delivered straight-faced and without a trace of his usual punchline, landed hours after the LAPD impounded a Tesla from Bird Streets. The car, registered to David Anthony Burke, David's government name, had been soaking in the Hollywood heat for days, just yards from a $20,000 a month Hollywood Hills rental. What police found inside blew through every firewall: the decomposed, partially dismembered body of Celeste Rivas, a 15-year-old missing since April. Within hours, David's North American tour was scrubbed from every venue page. Sponsors like Crocs, yanked ads, Universal and Interscope issued a midnight memo, all promotion paused. Even his Instagram froze at a pre-scandal post, deluxe version dropping Friday. Instead, that Friday delivered a forensic team in blue gloves, 500,000 fans refreshing, and no sign of the singer.
The LAPD spent 12 hours searching a house where David had been living. So big developments this week. Sources say they were looking for blood evidence in the house and the garage. Neighbors remember seeing the Tesla regularly parked at that house, and it was abandoned and towed to an impound lot from the same neighborhood.
Williams framed it as more than a coincidence, more than even tragedy, he said, sacrifice. The same day, LAPD called the case a tragedy investigation. Williams called it a playbook, pointing to David's instant erasure. Tour canceled, album yanked, Reddit locked, Discord in lockdown. The pulse of the industry, money and management pulled back at the same second. Williams' quote rang out. If you were at the table, you saw the meeting. He wasn't just talking, he was torching the velvet rope, warning this isn't one artist with a bad headline, it's a ritualized process. The case hinges on missing hours, a corpse in a trunk, and an unspoken currency of fear that Williams insists is the real product of Hollywood. Receipts hit social within minutes. Newsweek clocked his Club Shay Shay episode at over 60 million YouTube views. Every pull quote clipped, memed, and relooped. On TikTok, his theory linking David's career implosion to secretive Illuminati meetings at LA mansions went viral, pulling receipts from years past. Google searches for Katt Williams, almost non-existent at 85,000 before, erupted to over 1 million in the 24 hours after his broadcast. Booking agent info called it digital gold. But this wasn't a heat-chasing comeback. Sharp, in the same episode, called out the industry for trampoline skin, saying Williams always bounces back, even as the law drags him down 30 times. Williams laughed off the jail time but doubled down. You have to have your heater on you, he said. The room went silent.
Website, I've gone down these rabbit holes. You know, you look at these lyrics, okay, of romantic homicide. I have them right here. He has a line where he says, in the back of my mind, I you and I didn't even regret it. One of his music videos, I think, you know, he's carrying a casket, or people are carrying a casket. He just seems to have this very sick fascination.
It's not just the internet blowing smoke. A former David road manager claims tour security doubled after a coded threat came through management hours before the first cancellation. 3 label veterans insist David's appearance at the Grammy Museum was pulled before the RSVP list went live. LAPD's robbery homicide division, meanwhile, won't label it a homicide. Their lead detective told ABC, "We don't have the answers we need." The car was registered in Texas but parked on a leafy Los Angeles street. Plastic wrapped inside, reeking to high heaven when tow lot workers finally called it in. David's silence is total. His lawyer, Burke, gave nothing to the press. The only people talking are those who never made the guest list in the first place. And Katt Williams
said that she had a boyfriend.
That's right, that she had a boyfriend and his name was David. And the mother never really got in contact with David, like she never saw him.
She didn't know who the David was.
She had heard of him. And it seemed like the last time that she had seen her daughter was when she had gone out with her.
What's kept the city's nerves raw is the hole in the timeline. On September 8th, 2025, Celeste Rivas's remains were found, a day after her birthday. She'd vanished at 13, surfaced in tragedy at 15. The medical examiner still has no cause, but TMZ confirmed the body was chopped up and heavily decomposed. David for weeks was on stage in Boston, Montreal, Chicago. touring as if the ground wasn't about to give way beneath his feet. In the hours after the news broke, Discord moderators linked to David's channels issued a rushed statement. "We thought she was 18 or 19. None of us knew her age or her real name." The Reddit fan page, meanwhile, went into lockdown. Posts about Celeste, David's lyrics, even speculation about the shh tattoo started vanishing. Fans accused David of scrubbing the narrative. Within 48 hours, all critical posts were gone, and so was David's moderator handle.
And about the ages, this guy's 20, she was about to be 15, right? I mean, this is really wild how they hooked up in the first place, allegedly, and where it went from there.
The shh tattoo is the black hole pulling every conspiracy in. Celeste's mother told TMZ she recognized her daughter's body not just by the face, but by that right index tattoo, done in red Rihanna style. She told reporters Celeste mentioned dating someone named David right before she disappeared in 2024. TMZ's sleuths pulled every David photo for proof. In April, his hands were clean. By September, one grainy stage shot showed shh inked in identical script. The rumors spiraled. Had they gone together for the tattoo, or was it some kind of shared pledge? Police have not confirmed a direct relationship. Yet even LAPD sources admit they are investigating photos posted online that allegedly show David and Celeste together before her disappearance. The Rivas family, blindsided, refuses comment.
Division is investigating this case. They still have not said it's a
Correct. Meaning that
they
don't know the cause of death. Obviously, yes, the body was dismembered and was, where the parts were in a bag that was in the Tesla, but they don't know.
Money is hemorrhaging. Crocs and Hollister dropped him from ad campaigns. Universal and Sony shelved all album pushes out of respect for the ongoing investigation. David's deluxe release, once set for streaming stardom, now sits in purgatory. One former Interscope Promotions staffer claims, "We got a group chat that just said, stop everything, no one speaks to press." Lawyers have locked down every statement, but one truth leaks through: David is not missing. But he's missing from every stage, every stream, every red carpet he was supposed to walk in September. Law enforcement tells Billboard he is cooperating. Not arrested, not charged. But not performing, not posting, not seen. Into this media blackout, Katt Williams keeps hurling fuel. He calls out the tattoo pact, speculating the matching ink was a secret initiation, not a random teenage impulse. "If you know, you know," Williams growled. 3 old-school industry publicists, off the record, claim the tattoo matches certain signs used in closed circles to bind silence. The only thing more chilling, both David and Celeste got theirs less than a month before she went missing. When police finally traced the Tesla, it had bounced parking spots 3 times on that same Bird Streets block. Never reported stolen, always coming out on the license plate scan. Neighbors told ABC the car wasn't familiar, but they clocked the Texas plate and a big dent. By the time the tow lot called in the stench, it was too late to catch whoever left it.
Didn't just remove shows from his website, also forced to remove some creepy merchandise from his site. So for people who don't know, David was selling a line of button-down shirts with bloody handprints on them. And Lauren, this wasn't like a Halloween thing, right? It was because one of his biggest songs called Romantic Homicide.
A new hinge point, the tour theme itself. David's Withered World tour was funeral-themed with caskets, condolence books, and a blood-spattered shirt as stage uniform. The deluxe album, Withered, was supposed to drop days after Celeste's body was found. Instead, law enforcement raided the Doheny Drive mansion, seizing electronics. A vigil for Celeste on what would have been her 15th birthday drew a silent crowd. None of David's circle appeared. LAPD says several items of evidence were recovered and will be analyzed by detectives in the coming days. The stakes are rising, not just for one singer, but for everyone who ever believed fame would save them. Katt Williams' voice cuts through, warning, this is no one-off. They want blood or a body, and if you're in, you don't get to choose which. The only question that matters, did David walk into this with eyes open, or was he already marked before he inked that first note? Tour dates vanished like evidence flushed at midnight. 1 minute, David's Withered World Tour promised a sold-out run from LA to London. The next, every North American date and the entire European leg were erased, not just from the band's site, but from every ticketing platform. Fans woke up to blank event pages, blamped over venue lists, and an ominous refunds will be issued at point of purchase note. Paradiso Amsterdam, San Francisco's Regency, the Grammy Museum, all pulled the plug without explanation. A manager at Paradiso issued a dry statement. David concert is canceled due to unknown circumstances. This wasn't a slow collapse, it was a sudden, synchronized blackout. we're left asking, who pushed the button and what did they know that the public didn't?
Now, in a story we've been following for nearly 2 weeks, singer David has canceled the rest of his U.S. tour after a girl's body was found in the car of his car at a tow yard.
He was scheduled to perform tonight in San Francisco and tomorrow night here in Los Angeles. This comes as police investigate the death of a 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, who was reported missing from Lake Elsinore.
Industry veterans whisper that this level of coordinated erasure doesn't happen because of simple panic. 3 ex-promoters for Interscope say they've never seen an artist erased so fast without an explicit directive from legal, PR, or higher. It's like someone upstairs didn't just want him out of sight. They wanted him wiped off the board, one tells us. A former road manager claims security teams were told to pack up, shut up, and don't answer questions within an hour of the LAPD news break. Meanwhile, Interscope's team sent a late-night memo freezing all digital ads, halting streaming booths, and putting every billboard contract on ice until further notice. Even secondary sellers like StubHub were told by email, do not relist, do not comment. Was this a frantic manager trying to contain a scandal? Or was someone a few floors above in the Hollywood food chain making sure David didn't get anywhere near a live microphone? The digital cover-up didn't stop at venues. Overnight, David's entire online universe started glitching like a crime scene. The official subreddit, once a mess of fan art and concert selfies, locked down with no warning. Posts about Celeste Rivas, the Tesla, even offhand references to the Shichu tattoo, gone. Moderators vanished, accounts deleted, and requests to join ignored. Only an error message remained. This community is private. Users rushed to archive posts, but the cleanup was already underway. One Discord moderator, claiming no official tie to David's management, told TMZ, "We thought she was 18 or 19. None of us knew her real age." Yet users caught David's name as the sole mod for weeks, fueling claims that the narrative was being personally scrubbed. Not just by staff, but by the star himself.
You know what? I can't confirm that. I know that I know the reports you're talking about, and we've been trying to confirm that they have, but that would be expected. And there have been other artists who have taken down songs that they collaborated with David on, and they've removed them from some platforms just because they have seen what's going on. And until, we know for certain, I think some artists will see David as kind of toxic.
We watched as his entire online footprint shrank by the hour. Social media accounts lost thousands of posts, music videos vanished from fan playlists. Even past Twitch streams and Discord threads relating to Celeste or her disappearance went dark. Fans screamed, cover up. If David is truly blameless, why erase everything? If he's not, how is every platform suddenly in sync helping clean house? Relabel insiders off the record insist there's a big difference between lawyers asking for privacy and a digital purge. The silence is deafening, no official statement, no thoughts and prayers, just a void where the artist's voice should be. Speculation swelled around what fans call the Tesla trap. Was the impounded car really the scene of the crime? Or was it a prop planted to hang a headline on David's neck? The vehicle's timeline is a hall of mirrors. Impounded September 5th, body found September 8, with the registration pointing straight to David. Yet nobody will say who last drove the car, why it was abandoned on that street, or why cameras, Tesla, yielded nothing public. Law enforcement says multiple people used the vehicle, but the chain of custody is a black hole. It's almost too convenient. One industry lawyer points out, if you wanted to frame someone in the age of digital breadcrumbs, what better prop than a Tesla full of cameras, GPS, and data logs? The LAPD claims they're analyzing devices, but so far nothing has emerged, just a pile of rumors and a singer whose legal team built a fortress around every word.
And law enforcement sources say much of this case hinges on the medical examiner determining a cause of but given the state of the body, that is proving to be quite...
Behind the scenes, brand partners vaporized overnight. Crocs and Hollister issued statements that felt less like apologies and more like a digital divorce. We have removed campaign content featuring David while the investigation continues. His label, Universal Music Group, Sony Music Publishing, and Wasserman sent joint emails freezing all promotional activity. No new album push, no press, no interviews. Even the release of his much-hyped Withered Deluxe Edition was yanked from every calendar. This is big money we're talking about. Millions in tour revenue, ad deals, and chart placements gone in a digital blink. One PR veteran summed it up. Someone decided David would not be heard or seen until further notice, period. Whether he wanted to talk or not. We can't ignore the gravity of the tattoo pact as digital detectives pore over old images, zooming in on every hand, every piece of ink. Screenshots show David without a finger tattoo in April, then sporting a shh, just days after Celeste's remains were found. Police admit they're looking into online photos, but so far refuse to confirm if it's the same artist, same date, or just a viral coincidence. Some fans claim it's a tribute, others call it proof. The only certainty is that every new photo, every old live stream is now suspect. In an era where stars stage manage every detail, who's to say what's authentic and what's just part of the show?
Now to Los Angeles, to the body found in the trunk of a Tesla belonging to a well-known singer. The body identified as a teenage girl missing for more than a year. Well, tonight, investigators are now at the home where that singer had been staying, removing several items.
What's sending chills through the fandom now is the eerie resonance between David's performance art and the investigation's grisly details. A convergence the internet has dubbed the tragedy playlist. Fans, once charmed by his dramatic flair, are now digging through every stage prop, set list, and lyric with the zeal of amateur detectives. His funeral-themed shows, complete with guest books for fictional condolences and caskets stationed at the venue entrance, now feel less like edgy performance art and more like public rehearsals for an unspoken confession. Even the blood-smeared costumes, once brushed off as visual metaphors for heartbreak, have taken on a new, unnerving context. Critics on social media are circulating footage from his withered world or slowing down frames and splicing together lyrics that mention cold bodies, hidden secrets, and doomed romance. Suddenly, a set that once read as quirky Gen Z theater is being dissected for signals a search for the moment performance might have slipped into prophecy. The speculation doesn't stop at the stage. David's most viral tracks, especially the ones that skyrocketed up the charts, are being replayed in a new, macabre light. Romantic Homicide and Withered were already known for their somber themes, but now listeners are parsing every line for veiled admissions, drawing connections between lyric fragments and leaked police details. A few digital sleuths even claim to have found timestamps where the music video's imagery, from blood red lighting to locked trunks, eerily mirrors facts from the case that hadn't yet gone public. The effect is destabilizing, transforming pop songs into a kind of open-source case file, and feeding the sense that the clues were out there long before the news trucks arrived. For some, it's just dark coincidence. For others, it's evidence that the lines between persona and reality were already blurring before Celeste's body was ever found.
It's very clear we're going to get to the bottom of this sooner than later. Like they are closing in, and it is heartbreaking to see these images of Celeste now, knowing how she came to her end, but to see her at a very young age in this sort of Hollywood circle, you just wonder how it got to that point for her, and you hope the police can solve it.
What's left is a fan base spiraling between obsession and fear, convinced that art and life have collapsed into each other. The conversation has shifted from whether David is guilty or innocent to whether the entire pop spectacle was a coded confession, hidden in plain sight and applauded by thousands. It's no longer just about what happened backstage or in a Hollywood garage, but about how the entire entertainment machine devours stories, shapes narrative, and invites audiences to clap along. The chilling possibility is that everyone, fans, managers, even the press, was part of a performance they never understood, watching as fiction quietly leaked into the world's bleakest reality. The story only gets murkier as we zoom out. David's rise was meteoric, plucked from TikTok obscurity to streaming millions in less than 2 years. He was the label's next cash machine, a Gen Z voice with global pull. But just as quickly, he became a media distraction, a perfect front-page scandal to soak up every headline. Industry insiders say it's a pattern. When the stakes get too high, when a star starts to shine too bright or get too close to industry secrets, something always happens. An arrest, an accusation, a story designed to pull focus. Did David become collateral in the oldest game in entertainment? Was this all just random? Or was someone, somewhere, feeding the beast?
And that was before he was even charged. There were people who backed off and didn't want to be associated, didn't want to answer any questions about him. That's what happens in showbiz when you suddenly are the focus of things like this. All those people who are your friends go running.
Meanwhile, Katt Williams' warnings echo. He says he's seen the playbook. First, the invitation to the big table, then the price. In his viral interview, Williams called it straight. They want blood or a body. And if you're in, you don't get to choose which. Other celebrities, from comedians to musicians, have hinted at the same unspoken contract. Success comes with a bill that's always collected, one way or another. If Williams is right, David's story isn't just a tragedy. It's a warning shot for every artist who thinks they can play the game and walk away clean. So here's the question nobody at Universal, LAPD, or the Grammy Museum wants to answer. Was David set up as the perfect distraction, or did he step into a trap of his own making? Is this how Hollywood handles its messes? By scrubbing the scene, locking down fans, and leaving nothing but rumors in the ashes? If the digital purge, the missing dates, and the echoing silence mean anything, it's that the truth is still in the wind, waiting for a break in the clouds. We'll leave you on this. If a rising star can be erased overnight, if secrets can be wiped with a single call, who's really pulling the strings? And how safe are any of us from the machine? Drop your wildest theory below. Was this the cost of fame or the first domino in something bigger? Don't blink, don't trust the silence, and remember, in this story, nothing is what it seems. Stay sharp, stay curious, and until the next scandal hits, keep your eyes open.